Good morning and welcome back to my channel. So I saw a lot of videos on YouTube about building a lean-to or a woodshed, but the price of lumber is freaking crazy. It's like $15 for a 2x4. So I thought about what I wanted to do. I kept putting it off because I kept hoping lumber prices would drop, and they keep saying they are, but they aren't. So anyway, I am going to build this for under $100. It'll be a little over 16 foot long and about 7 foot high and 5 foot deep. So it'll hold a little over, well, almost 3 cords. Because it'll be stacked higher than 4 foot, so it'll hold almost 3 cords of wood. We go through about 2.5 cords a year, so that'll hold a year's supply for us and keep it out of the rain and keep the snow off of it. So how am I going to build this for under $100? Well, the only thing I'm going to buy is roof tin. It's 20 bucks a sheet, and I need 4 sheets. That's 80 bucks plus tax, so we'll be under $100. The framing, I'm going to build out of logs. I have a bunch of nice, tall, straight poplars in a grove. They're actually too thick is why they're so straight. They reach for the sun and they're so straight and nice. 5-6 inches in diameter. They'll make nice poles. There's the first 2 I cut, and I can get 1 more out of the... I know I have 3 already cut, and I think I can get 1 more yet out of the same tree. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll show you how we put this thing together as we go. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so I've got the 3rd one out of the woods, and first thing I need to do is peel all the bark off. So I'm using a draw knife, peeling the bark. That will make these last a lot longer, and the posts are not going to be in the ground, of course. They're going to be sitting on a cement block, just a flat one like that. So they won't weep water, and they will some, but they'll last a lot longer that way. And poplar's pretty rot resistant. That's why they used it on barns for the siding. As long as it can dry out after it gets wet, it'll last years. Probably outlast me. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now, is peeling the bark out of the ones that I have out of the woods, and then we got to go cut more and bring them out. See you in a minute. Alright, so there's my 3 front posts with the bark all stripped off. I cut those at 8, whoops, where you at? There we go, sorry. So I cut those at 8 foot, and I'll trim them a little bit. They'll be just, I gotta make the ends nice and flat. So they'll be just over 7 foot probably. And I'm gonna make the back post 6 foot for sloping the roof. So now I gotta go cut more logs and carry them out and strip them. Be back. Okay, so the one post right here has a kink in it, so I've decided I'm going to cut that off. I got plenty there to use that as a rear post and cut that kink off so it'll be straighter. That's going to mess me up on my header, so that's going to be a rear post, which will be about 6 feet. So let's go get some more logs. Alright, so using a combination of a drill bit and a chisel, I made a mortise in the front vertical log. Now I'll make a tenon on the cross piece. Then in the top of the rear log, vertical log, it'll just be a notch. So the horizontal piece that runs front to back will just sit flush to the top of the rear vertical post. Be back. Okay, so there's the mortise and tenon. And I had to drive it together with a sledgehammer, and that's all the tighter I could get it. Beating it hard. So I'm going to call that close enough. And I'm going to drill this and peg it. I'll try maybe one more time to smack the end of that and see if I can get it in there, but it's tight. And as that green wood dries and shrinks, it'll get tighter. So here's the other end. This will be the back end, so the front's longer for the slope of the roof. So in the barn building business, this assembly here is called a bent, and I'm kind of doing it the same way. That's the front post, that's the back post, and that's actually what they call a purlin. And then a header will sit on the top of the two going in either direction. So I'll probably yet put an angle brace in here. This is the center bent. There'll be 3 bents, one on each end, one in the middle. So I don't know, it went together so tight it probably doesn't need the angle brackets, but it's not a bad idea. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Hey, so I found a piece of dry, hard grain, or hard maple, straight grain, hard maple, in the wood pile. It's dry. So I was looking for oak. All the oak was kind of buried. So, but hard maple will do. You want your peg to be dry, because the green logs will shrink around the peg, and the peg won't shrink and get loose in the hole. So, and I made a hole gauge, just drill a hole in a piece of wood, and as I get that a little closer, I'll see if it'll fit in the hole, and we'll make a peg out of this. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so it fits. And I'll leave that a little bigger in diameter, so it's kind of tapered, and it'll drive in tight, and the skinny end will come out the other side and get cut off. So, there's a peg. Got to make another one, and I'll be back. Alright, so now that one's in. That's not going anywhere. Oh, and I failed to mention, and I probably should have, the tenons are 1.25 inches wide and 3 inches tall. And of course the mortise matches that. And the pegs are 3/4 inch. I could have used a little bigger one on these bigger posts, but on the smaller posts, that's really about all I want, so I just used all the same. So, that's where we're at. Now I'll do an angle bracket, and we're done with this bent. Alright, there's the angle brace. And if I had more ambition, I could have mortised those in like I did that. I didn't want to. So I did notch it. I notched it, and then I nailed it with 16-penny galvanized deck nails. So that'll hold it. So I'm going to get these marker lines off here and clean up a little bit and call it a day. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Alright, so it's day 2. I've got that bent laying over the firewood pile, and I'll get another bent built. Then I still got to cut headers, and we'll put it on the top there and stand that up and fasten 2 of them together and go from there. So, time to get at it. Alright, there's another mortise done. See you in a minute. Okay, so there's the top of the rear post. Now I have to strip the bark off and put the tenons on that piece for between them. Be back. So when you're cutting your tenons, remember, you can always take off a little more, and you can't put any more back on. So when you get it close, go slow and easy. I'm almost there. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. Now I gotta go get some pins made and drill some holes in there to pin them. Then we'll make another angle bracket. Alright, pegs are made. I got to charge the drill up to drill a hole. I started it and the drill quit. So, time for lunch, and I'll let that drill charge up a little. Alright, so I've got the two bents stood up and the headers put on. And I made a Lowe's run, and I got the roof tin and some 20 penny nails. I used 20 penny in the headers into the top of the post, and 16 penny where the angle braces are. So there's about a half of it, actually 2/3 of it stood. I still got to build the other bent, but I think I'm going to put the roof metal on now that I got headers there to do it, just because it'll help stiffen it and keep everything standing strong. So there's the nails I bought for the headers, 20 penny, and there's the other ones I'm using for the angle braces, and here's the roof tin. And I was gonna get 10 foot, and that's when I said under $100, been $80 for 10 footers. The problem is it's exactly 5 foot header to header, which wouldn't have given me any overhang at all. So I just decided to spend a little more money and buy 12 footers, cut them in half, have 6 foot, which will give me 6 inches of overhang front and back. And I think it'll just allow for any irregularities in the headers, and I think it'll work better. I bought some blocks because the bottom of the posts are going to sit on blocks so they don't rot, instead of being right on the ground. So we got to go cut some metal. I'm going to just use an angle grinder with a metal cut-off blade to cut it. Wear your safety glasses, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so there's some roof on there. I left a notch there that the end of the other header will tie into out to the end post out here. So, that's it so far. So, it's quitting time, second day, and I'm not sure if I can work on it tomorrow. I got family stuff, maybe some. Like to get that other bent built, but we'll see. If not, there's another day. I'll be back. Good morning. So it's actually day 3 of working on the woodshed. It's 5 days after I started. We had one full day of rain, and well, 3/4 of a day. The other 1/4 of the day, I had a neighbor that had a big tree down in his front yard. It's just woods all around him, but he's got a clearing there for a front yard, and there was a monster tree down with no bark on it, and obviously no leaves on it. So I wasn't even sure what kind of tree it was, but it's been laying there all summer. And I stopped by yesterday, or a couple days ago. I said, hey, I happen to need some firewood. You happen to have a tree down. And he said, oh, you just have at it. That's all I needed to hear. I wasn't sure what kind of wood it was. As soon as I got there to start cutting, oh my, it was red oak. That's freaking awesome. So, that whole back row back here is all that red oak, and it's dry as a bone. There's one log laying there from it that one right there is from that tree I didn't split yet. The other's hard maple that's not dry yet. The other log's laying there. But anyway, I only got maybe a third, closer to a fourth of that tree. It's just huge. And so I'm probably going to be able to fill 100% of the rest of the woodshed with the rest of the tree. I went before it rained actually and cut some of that wood, and then it rained in the afternoon and all night after that. So it got wet in there where it's at. I can't get the truck to it. Well, I probably could, but I don't want to hurt his yard any, and so I'm going to wait till it dries to go back. But I've got at least like 4 more pickup loads of wood still in that one tree. I didn't cut the biggest diameter. It's just huge. Anyway, so now I've got oak available to make a peg for that last mortise joint. I've got a few logs cut and stripped and ready to make a bent on the end there. So that'll be the last one. I'll be back. All right, there it is. Is it perfect? No, not perfect. Will it do the job? Yes, it will. So, total cost, the only thing I bought was nails and roof tin. The total cost was about 120 bucks. I can live with that. And it'll keep the wood from being covered in snow this winter. That's a good thing. Hey, thanks for coming with me on this little adventure. And thanks for watching my videos. Please hit thumbs up and subscribe and hit the little bell and follow me on some of these projects. I'll see you next video. Hey, you remember that red oak tree I told you about? I got the rest of it home. Now we gotta get it cut up and split and put in there.